While we were covering these tournaments, a major announcement was made regarding the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and more specifically, where the World Cup final was going to be hosted at. There were potential nominees: SoFi Stadium. We mentioned in the past that would be one of our favorite U.S. stadiums to get picked. Azteca, perhaps, if they were to get selected. at&t Stadium being rumored at one point to be selected as the final place to play in the World Cup of 2026. But at the end of the day, man, it's MetLife Stadium that gets the final for 2026. New Jersey, East Rutherford, I believe, will be hosting the final of the World Cup. Your initial reaction?
I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not surprised at all, dude. I expected the World Cup final to either be in LA or New York, really, just because they're metropolises of the United States. If you're a foreigner, you think U.S. City, you're thinking LA, or you're thinking New York City. The fact that Dallas even flirted with the opportunity, I think was just that. It was just flirting. FIFA was trying to make LA and New York jealous. That's why they went down to Dallas, bro. They were like, all right, if they don't initially want it, Dallas was a side chick, bro. It was never real. And I know the FIFA officials were here in Dallas, but it was just because SoFi was being a little stingy on the money aspect of it. And I think there was transportation questions in New York, but it was all for show, so that the LA executives and the New York executives could push a little harder and beg FIFA to go to one of their cities. I never even considered, bro, like the middle of the country in Dallas, Texas, bro. It's a beautiful stadium. Texas is an enormous state. We could handle a World Cup final, but from a cultural perspective, I just never considered it, man. I really didn't. So it going to New York, I think I'm not surprised by it, but also it's the right decision. We got to have it in a huge city.
Over SoFi?
I
prefer SoFi.
We should have. We should have gone to SoFi. There was a huge debate on SoFi ever getting it. Like, it was made early on that SoFi was just like, no, we don't want it. Like, wasn't there a huge row between the owners and FIFA? Whereas like New York was way more open to it. Yeah. So I just considered like, there's no way Dallas gets it just because of location. And LA or New York, I think were the only real options here. So yeah, SoFi would have been dope.
I just think politics aside, I understand politics get involved, but politics aside, I much prefer the advanced technology of SoFi Stadium, and the way that Gold Cup final was hosted between Mexico and Panama, I thought was a great representation of what we could see in 2026. I don't know if I've seen that from MetLife, honestly, in terms of hosting a footballing event yet. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great, but I would have personally preferred SoFi when it comes to the U.S.-specific stadium. But I do want to quickly just put to rest, send my regards to the idea, or rather just the fascination, whatever you want to call it, of Azteca potentially hosting the tournament. Because if there was a right answer at the end of the day, it would have been Azteca. Because when you think of a tournament as legendary and as iconic as the World Cup itself, I think it's important to attach history to it. And what stadium here in the Americas has more history than Azteca, man? El Azteca has hosted Pelé, it has hosted Maradona back in 1970, and then in 1986. I would have loved to see the modern iteration of Azteca, El Azteca, hosting a modern great, whoever it might be, Erling Haaland, Messi, Mbappe, Ronaldo, whoever it might be, man, hosting them in what's already been such a storied venue that's seen legends lift a trophy there as well. That idea was something that so many fans of the sport fell in love with, and honestly were ultimately surprised by when they saw the selection of MetLife or SoFi or even at&t Stadium being considered, because it felt like the easy choice was there. But I do think what prioritized itself in this situation was the fact that because the USA has more games to be hosted at during the World Cup, I think it's like 60 games versus like 10 in Mexico, then it very clearly has to be in the USA. But I think that ultimate decision is something that leaves a lot of football fans a little bummed about the missed opportunity FIFA had here.
Yeah, and the only reason why I considered New York and LA to be the only true locations that FIFA were considering is because this World Cup is being billed as USA and Friends, right? Basically what you just said. So for that reason, I was like, okay, it has to be in one of the major cities here in the States. But yeah, the story of Azteca would have been insane, but there's still going to be history made. 100%. And I really like that they did this. FIFA announced that the Azteca is going to open the tournament. I think that's a great way to kind of make amends
It's
here.
terrifying, bro. Mexico's gonna open
gonna
the World
open the
Cup.
World
Jesus
Cup.
Christ, dude.
I know.
Jesus Christ,
It's
this could be
awesome.
bad.
That
This could
opening
be bad.
would be nuts, bro.
Oh God, I hope we rig the shit out of this, man. Give us an easy tournament, easy first game. That's all I ask. Easy first game. That's all I ask for. I want to see us at least get a victory in that first game in front of the Azteca, man. Like, it's a home game.
Yeah.
Like the idea of it is crazy, but it does scare me a little.
Oh yeah, I think there's a higher chance you'll get a weaker team because the World Cup's being expanded so greatly.
That's true.
But I mean, who knows, bro? I mean, we saw Tajikistan put up a good fight in the Asian Cup, so maybe even you get like a favorable draw, quote unquote, it might still be kind of tricky. But yes, Mexico's going to be opening up 2026, and I think it's going to be an insane event to see.